हरे कृष्ण। पूर्णज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नाम्नि। नमस्ते सारस्वते देव गौरवाणि विचारिणि विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणि। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। We'll continue our discussion on Prabhupada Tattvamrita. This is a very interesting chapter, and Prabhupada has some nice things to share with us. We'll try to hear from Prabhupada. This is a very famous shloka of Devahuti. Nirvinnam nitaram bhuman. Devahutirvacha. Nirvinnam nitaram bhuman. Asat indriya tarshanat. Yena sambhavyamanena prapannandam tamah prabhu. This is a very famous shloka, and many lectures you might have heard on this shloka. That the main point here is like Devahuti, in spite of she is born in such a very aristocratic family. She was the princess, and the king was the whole universe. That means she lived in a very what do you call, very sophisticated environment. She was a princess, so she was living in a palace, and she was extremely beautiful. And her glories, her beauty, even Kardamuni glorifying that. Okay, even the Gandharvas, when seeing her from their aeroplanes when she was playing, they fell from their aeroplanes seeing her beauty. And then that is how she lived. And then next level is how she served Kardamuni. That means she went into another extreme where she took a very austere life, from very luxurious life to austere, very great austerities she performed. And she lived a very austere life for many years and pleased Kardamuni. And then next what happened? Kardamuni arranged aerial mansion where she could get another extreme luxury. The flight was moving across the universe, and she was able to go to all the 14 planetary systems or whatever places he took. And she had so many servants, and everybody was. And then Kardamuni expanded himself in 9 forms and gave complete pleasure to her. And then she got beautiful daughters who were well qualified, and they were married to the great sages, directly sons of Brahma. So they are like the topmost people of the creation. And all Devati's daughters are wives of the top people of the universe. So that means she could produce such children who are of that caliber. They are like they can meet with, no. And these sages, no, they just married one wife only, so they were completely satisfied because they could they and most of them like. Now then what happened? Then when Kardamuni said he want to go, then she was praying to him, and then he stayed for some more time, and the son is born. And who is the son? Directly Supreme Lord. Now, for Devahuti, she has the best son, best husband, best father, best material situations in terms what she was grown up. She could see another extreme of what is austere life, and then the third level is where she got such a nice progeny. The children are so extremely powerful, and not only that, the highest is the Supreme Lord Himself is coming into her womb and became her son. Now, what can any woman can have any better situation in the whole of creation, compared to Devati? She has the best situation possible for a woman in the creation. Now, what she says is very interesting. And she says, Devati said, I'm very sick of the disturbance caused by my material senses. For because of this sense disturbance, my Lord, I have fallen into the abyss of ignorance. Now, this is the point that uh, she is telling she is in distress because of sense disturbance. Now, she is very much controlled. That's why she could serve her husband. Otherwise, to serve such a great person, we need to be very, very, very mindful, very careful, very expert, and we should have complete sense control. Otherwise, we'll not be able to serve great personalities. She is able to serve such a person like Kardamuni. That means she is quite qualified. And because of the result, also we can see what type of children she got. That means she has control over senses, but she's seeing that senses are a disturbance. So here, how she is able to see? This is very nice purport also. What she is seeing with her intelligence that my senses are troubling me. This realization is not just some with she's really getting troubled. She's able to see at the level of buddhi that this is actually what is happening to me. And Prabhupada writes nice point here. Here the word asat indriya tarshana is significant. Asat means impermanent, temporary, and indriyas means senses. Like uh, Keshananpur, my friend, he was yesterday. Somebody posted his one small clip. He was telling in mental hospital they they give this chenni, this mesh. What do you call? Uh, uh, it's a net. So they will give something a bowl which is made of mesh, and they will tell the mental people that you collect water in it, and how much ever you collect, it all flows down because it's a mesh. And now a person who is free from this mental, he'll stop collecting water from the mesh. He says, "What is the point in collecting water in the mesh? It's anyway going to go down." So he stops collecting. So then the authorities understand, oh, he is now no more mad. So they release him out of the mental hospital. So he was telling similarly in this material world, our senses are like this mesh. No matter how much you pour, it will only flow down. So no matter how much we try to serve the senses, they are not going to hold anything. It's just drained. Now, instead of trying to satisfy the senses, somebody stops. So the people who are materially mad, no asad indriya tarshana, who are materially mad, they continue to try to satisfy the senses. But whose madness is gone? He says he's no more mad materially. He understood. Okay, this is all. They have come to their senses. We call. So they understood. No more satisfying the senses because it's not going to hold anyway. That person is released from the clutches of this material world. That's all. So Asadinda Darshana being for being agitated by the temporary manifested senses of the material body. We are evolving through different status of material bodily existence, sometimes in human body, sometimes in animal body, and therefore the engagement of our material senses are also changing. Anything which changes is called temporary or asad. This is another. So if you stop enjoying the senses, we are liberated. And another important point is something which is temporary cannot give permanent happiness. Will write. So this is very important. Asat is important. So the first point is something temporary can't give permanent happiness. So this is the first thing we understand. Something temporary can't give permanent happiness. And we should know that beyond these temporary senses are our permanent senses, which are now covered by material body. So, like we give the example of a astronaut. Now, astronauts think now astronauts the thing is astronauts and they have a different type of suit. And in that suit, what happens is they will not be able to comfortably walk. If you see them, they are jumping, in the air, in the space, in the moon or something. Now, if they lived there for say 6 months, after that, 6 months and maybe 2, 3 years, then they get used to it. They're jumping and they're trying, and they continue living like that. We feel little sorry for them. Array, what type of you cannot even properly move yourself, you have to jump here, there, and they get used to it and say their children are born, and they get used to it. But somebody from earth, comes and says, Array, come to earth, you have free senses. You don't, they cannot understand what is free senses. Senses means like this only. You should always have the suit. They say, no, without suit also you can stay, come to earth. So similarly, we are in an astronaut body. Now we are not understanding what is real senses. We are thinking senses means, yeah, hands and legs, this is senses. No, there is something. So this is a very important understanding. No, we have. So this is the example we understand. Okay. Now we should know that beyond this, the permanent senses being contaminated by matter are not acting properly. Devotional service therefore involves freeing the senses from this contamination, right? When the contamination is completely removed and the senses act in the purity of unalloyed Krishna consciousness, we have reached Sat Indriya. Now, what is that? Now, what is Asat Indriya? It's a temporary thing. Temporary thing cannot give permanent, but we all want permanent things. We all try for permanent. If you see permanent job, permanent house, permanent relationships, we all try for something permanent. But nothing is, this is all asat. Our body is not permanent. Relationships are not permanent because the people live. We get separated from people. So the thing is permanent in there. Or eternal sensory activities. Eternal sensory activities are called devotional service. And now what we are doing, interesting that even though our body is temporary and our senses are also material senses, we are trying to engage them in a, in a permanent way. So in that way, we will try to the permanent activity, that is the activity of the real senses. We will be free from this suffering, like devotional service. The temporary sense activities are called sense gratification. Unless one becomes tired of material sense gratification, there is no opportunity to hear transcendental message from persons like Kapila. Devati expressed that she was tired. So this tiredness is very important. Now that her husband has left home, she wanted to get relief of hearing by hearing the instructions. So we should be tired of material pleasure. That is success for us. We can say, yes, now I am done. What happens is after some age, right? By the age of 50, people should get tired. Then they can easily take vanaprastha and other things. Now, what is happening is because of wrong training, people they think that they have not tried properly with senses. That's why they are not getting pleasure. So they keep on trying to get something good. The education system is wrong. So how the system is getting corrupt? Why people are not getting tired of sense gratification? So this is the question. So the reason is wrong hearing. It's all hearing only. You hear from right things. So there is no such education. They are not hearing properly. They what they hear is, or how I enjoyed, how I enjoyed, So everybody is talking. If you anybody opens the TV or mobile, any of the social medias or anything, what everybody shows, how they're enjoying differently. New cars, movies they show that they have very luxurious cars, palatial buildings, very smart looking, and they have the success is shown as how you satisfied the senses. Success is how to satisfy the senses. So now because that is considered as success, but previous ages now what was success? So that is success is sense gratification. So as long as this is made, people will never get tired only. They say, yeah, success is sense gratification. You keep on trying. That's why Prabhupada, when he was walking in France, Paris, somewhere, he was doing morning walk in, yeah, France only. Then he saw 80 years old people, they are coming, whole night they are in the nightclubs, where they are seeing some women dancing and they are coming out from them. So Prabhupada felt very sad. This fellow cannot enjoy also because senses are no more strong. But still he is trying because that is considered success now. But here, to get tired of sense gratification is success for us. Okay, now tired. Now what to do? Go for an alternative. Go something which is very important and helpful for us. That is the tiredness is what is success for us. Now tired. That means you are retired. After you are tired, you get retired from all these family things. Not only just satisfying senses, even the relationship, everything we should get tired. Okay, no, enough is enough. I don't want. Why people are holding on to all these families? They want to enjoy that emotions. We should get tired of that also. Senses here include mind. We want to experience the emotion, having first as a father, then as grandfather. Both are actually wrong only. You know, we should not continue after some time. We should just father or grandfather, same only. No. तस्य त्वं तमसोऽन्धस्य दुष्पारस्यात्यपारगं सच्चक्षुर्जन्मनाम् अन्ते लब्धं मे तत् अनुग्रहात्. Your Lordship is my only means of getting out of this darkest region of ignorance, because you are my transcendental eye, which by your mercy only I have attained by many, many births. This is a very famous verse. What we need is this transcendental eye. We want the Dhami, Divya Chakshu. Our Divya Chakshu is the transcendental eye, and the transcendental eye is, you know, which will help us because uh, presently our eyes they are programmed in a wrong way. They are all distorted images we are getting. We are not getting the real image. Pashyannapi na pashyat. We see, but we don't see the reality. Now at least through Bhagavatam we can see some reality, but otherwise most of the things that are happening around in this world, they are not what that is all wrong method only seeing. So, tasyatvam tamasondasya. So, here Prabhupada writes very nice. He says that this verse is very instructive since it indicates the relationship between the spiritual master and disciple. You see, Prabhupada is a very nice point he makes here. This is relationship between spiritual master and disciple. He says the disciple or conditioned soul is put into this darkest region of ignorance and therefore is entangled in the material existence of sense gratification. It is very difficult to get out of this entanglement and attain freedom. But if one is fortunate enough to get the association of spiritual master like Kapila Muni or his representative, then by his grace one can be delivered from the mere of ignorance. So only with a relation with spiritual master only it is possible. We want to develop relation with Krishna, we need to have relation with a devotee. Otherwise not possible. We need to learn how to serve a devotee. We need to learn how to associate with a devotee. We need to learn how to please a devotee. Then only we'll be able to please Krishna. If you have not learned to please a devotee, not learned to please Vaishnavas and serve them, it is not possible to serve the Supreme Lord. The spiritual master is therefore worshipped as one who delivers the disciple from the mire of ignorance with the light of the torch of knowledge. The word para, paragam is very significant. Paragam refers to one who can take the disciple to other side. This side is conditioned life. Other side of life is freedom. So the spiritual master takes the disciple to the other side by opening his eye with knowledge. We are suffering simply because of ignorance. See, this is we already discussed many times. Our suffering is only because of this. Our suffering is only because of ignorance. So we are suffering simply because of by instruction of spiritual master, darkness of ignorance is removed. So if mercy means what? Of course, there are three types of mercy we can get. So like uh, day before yesterday, His Holiness Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj was speaking. He was in his Vyas Puja lecture, those Vyas Puja celebrations. Maharaj telling very interesting, like why we need a living guru. He said, first is we need to get somebody who can correct us regularly. See, okay, this is right, this is wrong. Second is we should observe from his life how he is dealing. And third thing, we get mercy. Like being in his presence also will have effect in us. Because he has such feeling for Krishna, we can also develop that feelings. No, if you stay in their presence, it attracts mercy. We are going to receive mercy. There is certain power is there. So it is not some uh, imagine. It's really there is an effect by staying in the presence of such great personalities, and their wish is also mercy, but the mercy comes in their presence. It is stated in Bhagavad that of many births one surrenders to Supreme Personality. Similarly, after many births, one is able to find a bona fide spiritual master and surrender to such a bona fide representative of Krishna, one can take to the side of light. And most important thing is telling spiritual master is he helps us understand, he gives knowledge. That is the most important thing. We need to receive that knowledge from spiritual master. Blessing, greatest blessing is we have to hear from him more and more, trying to understand. And if you ask Maharaj, give mercy, it's this is the mercy. We have to hear from him. We will be enlightened. We can wake up. Generally, people want that if I go to Guru, Guru should help me. You know, my health should be nice, house should be nice, family should be nice, job should be nice, money should be nice, all these things. But that is like asking a guru, help me, to improve my dream. Like, I want to have a nice dream. And in the dream, no, I don't have a palace, I don't have this. But it's a dream. Why we want something in dream? We want in reality. So what guru does, he wakes us up. Same thing. Krishna through guru, he wakes us up by giving knowledge. He don't want us to continue in a dream like that. So, and there is a question in the chat box. If we stop serving our senses, can we see our spiritual body? Yes, yes. We will start, we will definitely get that is self-realization. We'll be able to see. Very much possible. That is a method to see only. Stop serving the senses and start. But we should do it in a positive way. We should engage the senses in a positive way also. So here, spiritual master, I will not go. That topic is a very big topic, but the main thing is we need a person to please in life. Very, very important. We need to learn how to please Vaishnavas. Why? Because to please means this is why it is so difficult. Here, this is a problem. The difficulty is to please, we should know I am servant. So this ego is actually what we need to develop to come to spiritual world. I am servant. So here we have to learn ourselves to be a servant. Then that will help us to become closer to Krishna. We have to learn how to be servant, and that we will get trained by serving a Vaishnava. And it's actually very painful. How can I be a servant? I want to be boss, and all the time servant is more difficult. यो आद्यो भगवान् पुंसाम् ईश्वरो वै भगवान् किला लोकस्य तमसान्दस्य चक्षुः इवोदते इवोदतः. This is, are you the supreme personality of Godhead? Sorry, you are the supreme personality of Godhead, the origin and the supreme Lord of all living entities. You have arisen to disseminate the rays of sun in order to dissipate the darkness of ignorance of the universe. So this is actually what is the purpose of Lord. That is how we understand. Lord is coming, doing his Leela, but most important thing what Lord want to do is eradicate ignorance. And what is the cause of ignorance? The cause of ignorance is, sorry, what will happen? The cause of suffering is ignorance. The Lord has to come to take away the ignorance. Like it's dark, we need sun. The sun comes, everything is, because it's raining for many days. We are all waiting for sun to come nicely. At least, no, we want to dry our clothes also. The sun is very much needed. Similarly, in our life also, what is needed is knowledge only. People think that if I'll be happy financially, people want to have security. They want to have, they want to feel secure. That's why they want to earn money so that they'll feel secure. But interestingly, we feel security when you give more charity, not how much you accumulate. You are accumulating more and more and more crores. We feel more and more insecure only. But if you give charity, even if you have less, also we can feel secure. The system is made such a way. Lord is also very tricky. He said, you want to feel secure, start giving. Accumulate, you will feel more insecure. So the point is, what I am telling is, we need knowledge to be happy, not things to be happy. He made system very simple also in that way. If I want to be happy, I need knowledge, not possessions, not satisfying the senses. The system is very simple. To gain knowledge, the process is to be humble, to be as a selfless, which are very easy and natural, and it does not cost much. And we can gain knowledge and we can remain happy. But if you go other way, to acquire things, you need many special skills, and then so much amount of hard work, labor, and then we acquire material things to make ourselves happy, but it is not possible. So the system is something very difficult. So this question in chat box. We know that we have control our senses and we do bhakti to get out of this birth and death loop. But then sometimes we cannot do our bhakti and sadhana properly. How can we be consistent? Yeah, consistency is possible when we are developing faith, and that will help us to be consistent, because this faith will help us. Okay, this is what I need to do. So, and it happens because we are affected by three modes of mental nature. Slowly, we will come out of it, and we can be little more consistent by next Janmashtami compared to this Janmashtami. So we have to work in the association of devotees, developing faith. We can be more consistent. उत्साह निश्चय धैर्य तत्त कर्म प्रवर्तन संकत त्याग शतो वित्ति षड्वे भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति. So we need to work in that consistent way, and it is that's the way to possible by reading more and more, by hearing, especially hearing. The quality of hearing is good, then we can be very consistent. We can immediately remember what we are hearing, improve the quality of hearing, then it is possible. And yeah, we always have to like these classes which we are having morning by Balram Shakti Pro and discussion with Prabhupada. This is actually where we can just by attending them. One area, if you are consistent now, just keep your morning hearing consistent. Then slowly, other areas started becoming consistent. Then because we want to keep this consistent, then we have to wake up in proper time. Because we want to wake up, we sleep in time. So because we want to sleep in time, we eat in time. Because to eat in time, then we have to make other things also arrange accordingly. We have to come in time. So many things will be connected if you just stick to one thing like that. And other conditionings will also we can overcome. Like I have problem with other things. But this one thing I am doing very consistently, this will give strength for me to overcome other weaknesses like that. So what we understand from the Lord, best thing what Lord is giving me is giving me knowledge. And that is the way to be happy. Because okay, I want to be happy. We all want to be happy. But we are unhappy. What is the cause of unhappiness? Is ignorance. Then to be happy, I need knowledge. That's how we need. But what we are thinking, my source of happiness is but I am unhappy because of ignorance. But we are thinking the source of happiness is not knowledge. The source of happiness is material possessions, material things, material sense gratification. So we are trying for that. That anyway are here. But it is anyway, many people tried and they are not successful, satisfying the senses, and then Devot is saying, oh, actually you are coming to give knowledge, which is needed for all living entities. And Prabhupada writes, Kapila Muni is accepted as incarnation of Supreme Personality of Krishna. Here the word Adhyaha means the origin of all living entities. Pumsam Ishvara means the Lord Ishvara of the living entities. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Kapila Muni is direct expansion of Krishna, who is the son of spiritual knowledge. As sun dissipates the darkness of the universe, so when the light of the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes down, it at once dissipates the darkness of Maya. We have our eyes, but without the light of the sun, our eyes are of no value. Similarly, without the value of Supreme Lord or without the divine grace of spiritual master, one cannot see things as they are. So this is the point here. We need Sun to the Supreme to see, similarly, Supreme Lord to see spiritual knowledge. Atame deva sammoham apakrishtum tvam arhasi gyovagroham mametitya chetasmin yochitastvaya. This is that now she is saying, now to please, now be pleased, my Lord, to dispel my great delusion. Due to my feeling of false ego, I have been engaged by your Maya and I have identified myself with body and constant bodily relations. Now, this is a very important point. What holds us here is this is the reason. This is a greater delusion. Why this delusion? Because due to my feeling of false ego and identifying myself with the body and constant body relationships. This is what happens, how we are caught up in this grand illusion in this metal world. This is the main reason we identify with this. So we have this discussion we were doing Saturday, Sundays on 5 ways of perceiving reality. So in that we were discussing how that a living entity, you know, is a soul. Is he is seeing the reality with two instruments. One is body, and then there is mind. And this is like a mirror, and we are observing this. We are observing. We are sitting. We are sitting and observing this movie. But what is happening now? We are perceiving something. Once we perceive something, we start identifying with it. So this is the problem with living entity. Living entity has perception ability. It is not the body, it's not the mind which perceives. It is actually the soul that perceives. The living entity has a perception ability. We were discussing this also. If you remember that artificial intelligence, they are able to create a robot. The problem with the robot is that it can comprehend things, but it cannot perceive. That does not have emotions. Now, because the living entity perception ability, and because of this, what happens now? It has, you perceive something, you start identifying with it. Now, if I am watching a movie, I'm able to perceive the feelings. If a dog is watching a movie, dog cannot understand anything in the movie. It cannot perceive, it cannot comprehend the movie. Right? It doesn't understand what is happening there. It only says what is food for me to eat. But we are able to perceive, even though some lights are flashing on the screen in front of us, but we can comprehend some things. I know director showing, see, suddenly, the child is coming to the home, and they'll show the expression of mother, sister, father, grandmother, and as soon as they through them, he want us to experience the emotion what they are feeling, and now we are able to perceive. But the problem is, if we perceive something, we start identifying with it. If we see a movie, we start identifying with hero, heroine, villain, whoever character. We start identifying with it and we start feeling the emotions, what is happening there. We don't see just the screen, we see the movie and we feel. So this is actually the greatest problem. So I having identified myself with body and the consequent body relationship. This is now it's all just in the mind. Finish. And we'll see what Prabhupada says. The false ego of identifying one's body and oneself and of claiming things possessed in relationship with this body is called Maya. And everybody is royally caught by Maya. We are, you know, this is definition, one of the definition of Maya, the wrong identification. In Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter, Lord says, I am sitting in everyone's heart, and from me comes everyone's remembrance and forgetfulness. Devahuti has stated that false identification of body with self and attachment for positions in relation to body are also under the directions of the Lord. Does it mean that Lord discriminates by engaging one in his devotional service and another in sense gratification? If that were true, it would be an incongruity on the part of the Supreme Lord. But that is not actual fact. So this is very important. It does not mean Lord is discriminate. There is no partiality, no partiality of the Lord. As soon as the living entity forgets his real constitutional position of eternal servitorship of the Lord, the Lord and wants instead to enjoy himself by sense gratification, he is captured by Maya. So this capture by Maya is the consciousness of false identification with body and the attachment for the possession of the body. These are the activities of Maya. And since Maya is also an agent of Lord, it is indirectly the action of Lord only. So when Devot is saying because of your Maya, that is you are because of you. That means you are Maya. We want it, Lord is arranging. That's what Prabhupada read. Lord is very merciful. If anyone wants to forget him and enjoy this material world, he gives him full facility, not directly but through the agency of his material potency. Therefore, since the material body is the Lord's energy, indirectly it is the Lord who gives the facility to forget him. Devati therefore said, my engagement in sense gratification is also due to you. Now kindly get me free from this end. Now Lord is only arranging, but Lord says, okay, I want to come out. Lord says, okay, I'll release. He is only making the arrangement, but because I wanted it like that. And if I say I want to come out of it, Lord says, okay, fine with me. So by the grace of love, one is allowed to enjoy in this material world, and when one is disgusted with material enjoyment and is frustrated, when one sincerely surrenders unto the lotus feet of Lord, then kind, uh, Lord is so kind that He frees from the entanglement. So anything that happens, it is by the grace of Lord only. Either we want to enjoy or want to. So therefore, Krishna said, first of all, surrender. Then Lord says, I will take care of it. In this material world, sinful activities, therefore, activities performed in forgetfulness of our relationship with Lord. In the material world, activities for material enjoyment which are considered to be pious are also sinful. Very nice point. You see, that's why na dharmam, na dharmam kilakuru. Don't do adharma, don't do dharma also. Because in this material world, activities for material enjoyment which are considered to be pious are also sinful. Both dharma and adharma, both are sinful. For example, one sometimes gives in charity to a needy person with a view to getting back the money 4 times increased. Is giving charity, but the purpose of his charity is doing such a dharmic activity. Why I want to do dharma? Because I will increase my artha. Dharma and artha. Na? If I perform nice dharma, serve the cows nicely, I know, even call devotees to house and nice kirtan prasadam. Why? I'll get 4 times. Giving with the purpose of gaining something is called charity in mode of passion. Actually, in uh, this section only, we will know 81 types of devotional service. 3 in ignorance, 3 is in passion, and 3 are in goodness. And like uh, Uttama, Adhama, and no, Madhyama. So in ignorance, there is ignorance bhakti, then is ignorance passion bhakti, and ignorance goodness bhakti. And then passion also. Passion ignorance, passion goodness. And then like that, goodness also. And then there how many process of devotional service we have? 9. 9 into 9, 81. 81 types of performance of devotional service. So here everything done here is done in mode of passion, modes of material nature. Therefore, all activities but service to the Lord are sinful. Because of sinful activities, we become attracted by the illusory illusion of mental attachment, and we think, I am this body. I think of the body as myself, and the bodily positions are pure. Devahuti requested Lord Kapila to free from the entanglement of false identification of false positions. Next of this, we will take this. Tvam Swagataham Sharanam Charamya Swabhritya Samsarataro Kutaram Jignasayam Prakrite Purushesya Namami Saddharma Vidan Varishtam. Devahuti continued, I have taken shelter of your lotus feet because you are the only person of whom to take shelter. You are the axe which can cut the tree of material existence. I therefore offer my obeisances unto you, who are the greatest of all transcendentalists. I inquire from you as to the relationship between man and woman and between spirit and matter. So this is the last question she asked. We'll try to discuss this. And Sankhya philosophy is well known. It deals with Prakriti and Purusha. Purusha is Supreme Lord, and anyone who imitates the Supreme Lord as an enjoyer. Prakriti means nature. In this material world, material nature is being exploited by Purushas or living entities. The intricacies in the material world of the relationship of Prakriti and Purusha, or the enjoyer and enjoyed and enjoyer, is called samsara. So this is actually the combination of Prakriti and Purusha is called samsara. Samsara, another many meanings are there. One meaning is something which slips from our hand. That's actually always happens. Devati wanted to cut the three material entanglements. She found suitable weapon is Kapila. So three things she wanted to cut: Dharma, Artha, and Kama. The tree of material existence is explained 15th chapter. Urdhva Moolam Atashakam Ashwattham Prahuramyam. Right? We remember this. So it is recommended that there is one one has to cut the root of material existence tree with the axe of detachment. And very few points. We'll just take these 2 points. Devati questioned Kapila for she knew that only he could cut her attachment to this material world. The living entity in the guise of men and women are trying to enjoy material energy. Therefore, in one sense, everyone is Purusha because Purusha means enjoyer. This is nice point. In the material world, both so-called men and women are imitating real Purusha. Everybody is doing that. The Supreme Personality God is actually the enjoyer of transcendental senses, whereas others are Prakriti. And Bhagavad Gita matter is analyzed as para or inferior nature. Whereas beyond this inferior nature, there is another superior nature, the living entity. So here, Lord is enjoying Prakriti and it is meant to be enjoyed by Lord. But we are coming in between and trying to do that and not trying to imitate the Lord. The Lord is Sharanyam, which means the only worthy personality to whom one can fully surrender. Tomorrow we will be. I am traveling. We will then after Janmashtami, then we will be having classes. So you can go through some of the purports, or we can continue reading together like this. Some very nice points are there. This indicates that all the transcendental occupations, the best occupation is eternal loving service unto the Supreme Personality God. Dharma is sometimes transcendental, but that is not exactly the meaning. Dharma actually means that which one cannot give up, that which is inseparable from oneself. The wrath of the fire is inseparable from fire. Therefore, wrath is called dharma or nature. Similarly, swadharma, sadharma, eternal position, that eternal occupation is engagement in transcendental loving service. So it's all simple in one way. It looks very simple, but but it is not sometimes. It's very difficult. So this, yeah, one last shloka we'll take because that will we can start new section tomorrow. He says, Maitreya said after hearing of his mother's uncontaminated desire for transcendental relation, the Lord thanked her within her himself for her questions and thus his face smiling. He explained the path of transcendentalists who are interested in self-realization. Now, here, very nice point proposes Devahuti has surrendered her confession of material entanglement and her desire to gain release. Her questions to Kapila are very interesting. For persons who are actually trying to get liberation from material entanglement, attain the perfectional stage of human life, unless, very important, unless uh, one is interested in understanding his spiritual life or his constitutional position, and unless one also feels inconvenience in material existence, which is not possible. You should feel this is the most important. Unless you should feel this one. So she is also feeling. I said no. She's tired. So unless one feels inconvenience in material existence, his human form of life is spoiled. That's all. One who does not care for this transcendental necessity of life and simply engage like an animal in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating has spoiled his life. Lord Kapila was very much satisfied by his mother's questions because he answered. This answer stimulates one's desire from liberation from material conditional life of material existence. Such questions are called apavarga vardhanam. Those who are actual spiritual interest are called asat or devotees. Satam, prasanga. Sat means that which eternally exists, and asat means that which is not eternal. Unless one is situated on the spiritual platform, he cannot, he is not sat. This is asat grihaya. So they're holding something which is, and this is actually cause of anxiety for all of us. Asatgraha, the incompatible situation of the spirit soul who has false idea of matter enjoys in the cause of is the cause of asat. Actually, we can discuss so much on this, but no, we have to. Uh, I don't want to take so much one shloka only. There are sometimes so many interesting points, but I try to skip because I cannot just go with one shloka. We have to cover so much syllabus. So we are 23 and of course 10 shlokas behind, but again we have uh, I'll take 2 days. Radhashtami will not have class, and tomorrow also will not have class. So 2 days our classes will not be at least Prabhat purpose. After that we'll continue. Okay, we'll see what Lord Kapila has to answer. If any questions, comments, there is a question. Feeling inconvenience in material existence and desiring release is desiring moksha, but devotees don't desire liberation. Yeah, yeah. Devotees don't desire liberation, but the tiredness should be there. We should also feel tired of this because then what we'll do instead of here, yeah, this is no, this is two things. I'll show you how it is. First is we are tired, and then for impersonalists, na, they want liberation, but we are tired. We want to engage them in proper way. So now I am tired of watching TV. Then what I do? Go and take darshan of Lord. You start taking darshan of Lord. So liberation means you don't want to watch anything. But for us, liberation means we want to sit in front of. I am tired of film music and all these songs. What to do? Chalo, Kirtan Mela. We sit and do 24 hours Kirtan. So we are tired serving the senses, but we don't want to, we are not tired serving the senses of Lord. Let Lord look beautiful. Lord, let him get good smell, good perfumes, good food, good music to hear. So we'll try to satisfy the senses of Lord now because we are tired of. No matter how many movies I see, it is not going to satisfy the heart. But if I read Bhagavatam, that is satisfying the heart. So let me do it. So we are engaging the senses in that way. Yes, Mataji. Uh, There is another question in chat. Koji, can we list out some important practices we should do daily in our bhakti and also by balancing our material duties? Important practices is hearing practice is very important. One is regulation. If you work on one aspect, if you work on very nicely, that is hearing, everything will change. And that's how everybody uses that technique only. How the people are selling their products. If I want to sell, I'm producing, say, some cow products. How should I sell them? I have to advertise, make people hear more and more and more about it. Then they'll say, yes, cow products are good. I should purchase. For us, also same thing. We have to hear more and more and more. Then we will be balanced. Our bhakti will be flourishing. Morning, you wake up. Before getting down from that, first you switch on your hearing. Take the mobile and play the lecture and start hearing. And by the time you complete all your morning things, one lecture is done. Then again you have chant. That time also we hear. And again when you are then class is there, again we hear. When you're cooking or driving or going to office, again you continuously we can hear. We are safe. That is the best thing we can do. And that is the first practice. And other daily practices which we are anyway doing. And taking rest early is the secret. Then if any serious problems, like if you are very difficulties in anywhere sadhana, what is the first thing? No, there's no enthusiasm, feeling so bored, dull, don't want to do anything. As soon as you wake up now, before getting down from the bed, take the bead bag and start chanting. If you can chant 6 rounds, whatever rounds we can chant, just sit there, try to chant, and that is actually going to change. Or get down from the bed means you sit in a place because bed is tamoguna. Na? Sit besides the bed or below the bed immediately. So first thing you is just wash your mouth and eyes so that we don't sleep and start chanting. That will make so much difference. Immediately we gain all energy and enthusiasm very short. Of course, if somebody can take bath, fresh, and sit and chant all 16, that is different. But even if in lowest of the cases also, we can come out of it by chanting. Or sometimes to get from the bed now, you immediately sit. We don't want to get up. So another thing we do is to overcome that. Immediately internally you start chanting Hare Krishna. Tamoguna goes away. And this is and most important, if you don't want to damage the consciousness anything, you focus on the food. Don't eat anything outside. Don't eat which is not offered. Best is cook ourselves and offer it and eat. That is the best practice. So two practices you do. One is hear nicely, chant in the first morning quota, complete as many rounds as possible. Three thing is food. Don't eat outside. If you three things done, happy. We are safe. Food, chanting, and hearing. That is the best practice. Okay, Preeti Mataji. Oh, Arti. You change your Yeah, Arti, you regularly attend and it will be nice for you. For you, you can, yeah, you can also do. Every day you attend class and you complete your chanting before going college and take prasadam from home. Don't eat in the college outside food as much as possible. Okay, thank you all very much. Any questions, comments? We'll end here. Hare Krishna. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shil Prabhupada ki jai. Tomorrow